Question 81. According to the law of karma, anyone who sows the seeds of karma will reap a corresponding and just consequence. So, is the law of karma always rigid, or is there some flexibility?
If the law of karma were rigid and fixed, it would no longer truly be the law of karma, as each person would merely be the product of past karma, with all circumstances predetermined. Even their actions would be regulated like those of a machine. For example, if person A kills person B, it could be seen as person B receiving the consequences of past karma. However, if A's actions were also driven by past karma, A's act of killing B would be similarly predetermined. In this case, the law of karma would become rigid, leaving no room for individuals to choose their actions and create a new karma. In reality, the law of karma operates more like fuzzy logic. It is highly flexible, yet still governed by principles. Understanding this requires subtle wisdom. Returning to the example, person B is predestined to face harm, but the perpetrator doesn't necessarily have to be person A. B's death might instead result from other causes, such as a traffic accident, a branch of a tree falling accidentally, slipping down the stairs, or even being hit by a falling durian while sitting under a tree. Instead of dying, person B might suffer severe injury, live in a vegetative state, or be confined to a wheelchair. The occurrence of such an event is inevitable. This is a principle of the law of karma. However, the manner in which the event happens and its intensity can vary depending on B's new karma or A's state of mind. This is the flexibility of the law of karma. It is precisely this flexibility that allows sentient beings to have the freedom to choose their new karma, making the future always uncertain and unpredictable.
Question 82. According to Buddhism, can humans evolve into higher species?
Influenced by the evolution theory of Charles Darwin, lived 1809 to 1882, we often believe in a process of evolution from simpler organisms to more complex ones, with humans being the pinnacle of this evolution as of today. However, according to the law of karma, the existence of a species is determined by the accumulated good karma of beings. However, the specific way in which a species manifests is still a subject that requires further study. For some reason, when the living environment becomes favorable and the merit of sentient beings is sufficient, humans will emerge in a way that is also aligned with these factors. Throughout various eras, many civilizations have risen and fallen. Humanity may have even faced apocalyptic events and then been re-established. Yet, humans have been considered the most intelligent species because they know how to use tools better than any other species. Occasionally, geniuses, prodigies, or extraordinary individuals with exceptional abilities have appeared among humanity, but after some time, they disappear and humanity returns to its usual state. It seems that until now, humanity has not evolved any further, even though scientific, technological, and engineering achievements have advanced dramatically. Soon, robots can do everything for humans, and eventually, even live in place of humans. It appears that humanity represents the final stage of species evolution, where the ordinary and the enlightened coexist. To truly evolve into enlightened beings is not a matter of genetic mutation or technological advancement, but rather a matter of meditation practice. Because the path to evolving into a saintly being is the journey of the mind, not the physical one. The more purified the mind becomes, the closer humans come to sainthood. Thus, the evolution of humanity is not driven by genetic changes or technological influence, but by meditation practice. Humanity must embrace meditation to find the path to higher evolution.
Question 83.
In what ways do blessings manifest? Good karma, blessing or merit, manifests in the following aspects. Health. Being healthy and free from illness is a sign of good karma. Some individuals even possess extraordinary physical strength, which is also a result of special merit. Physical appearance. A beautiful or attractive outward appearance is also a sign of merit. Good-looking people often easily access the goodwill of others. Intelligence. The ability to perceive, create, and reason sharply is also a form of merit, helping one navigate and solve complex problems accurately in life. Talent. Talent refers to specialized skills in areas such as science, technology, music, literature, martial arts, public speaking, and more. Talent also helps one secure a good profession, income, and social standing. Willpower. A strong sense of determination is also a sign of merit, as those with less merit are often easily discouraged and give up. Family background. Being born into a wealthy family is a sign of good karma, providing a strong foundation for building a successful future. Wealth. Possessing material wealth is a clear indication of merit, as wealth and prosperity remain aspirations for many people. Power. The ability to influence others and have them follow one's will is the desire of capable and ambitious individuals, as well as those who aspire to make a difference. This seems to be the pinnacle of merit. Morality. Having strong moral qualities is also a type of merit, often resulting from having revered some saintly ones in the past, leading to greater self-control in the present. Meditation. The ability to easily calm the mind in meditation is a significant form of merit, as it is the path that leads to spiritual enlightenment. Intuition. The ability to sense or predict what others cannot perceive is a valuable merit, as it is highly beneficial and helpful in life, leading others to seek one's counsel, akin to a trusted advisor. Luck. There are things beyond our control, and sometimes all we can rely on is luck. Luck is the chance or favorable conditions for success that we cannot actively create ourselves. This is also a manifestation of good karma. These are the general aspects in which merit may manifest in one's life.
Question 84. When people have a good connection from the past, they easily have affection for each other. What is this connection?
According to the law of karma, The feelings of love or dislike among people do not arise randomly. They stem from past karmic connections. If two people have positive karma with each other, having loved and helped one another in previous lives, they will naturally develop a positive affinity when they meet again. Conversely, if they share a negative karmic bond from the past, having harmed or wronged each other, then they may feel an inexplicable aversion towards one another upon meeting again. For example, some pop stars are adored by many fans. While talent plays a role, it is the good karma they accumulated in past lives that is the main reason for their large fan base. Perhaps they helped so many people in past lives, leading to widespread admiration in this life. Similarly, popular restaurants or successful businesses thrive due to positive karmic connections with many beings from the past. The owner may have performed numerous good deeds in previous lives, such as building bridges or roads for people that benefited many people, thereby creating good karma that now brings them many customers. Great leaders who can rally and guide entire nations often have deep-rooted connections with many beings from the past, built from significant acts of kindness and service they might have performed in their past lives, not just in their current lifetime. Marriage is also a result of past karmic connections, not merely coincidences. Whether the relationship lasts long or short depends on the depth of past connections and how well the couple treats each other in this life. Therefore, when someone shows affection towards us, we should not think it's just because we are attractive. Instead, we should recognize that we forged a positive connection with that person in previous lives. Understanding this helps us to appreciate and nurture that bond, guiding each other towards spiritual enlightenment.
Question 85. Throughout human history, across various regions, we have heard of the phenomena like spirit possession, where one spirit or entity taking control over another person's body. What is Buddhism's perspective on this?
In both the human and animal realms, beings possess a physical body paired with a soul that is tightly attached to it. This attachment between the soul and body is what gives rise to mental activities, most prominently seen in the brain's functions. Since scientists have not yet identified the soul, they attribute all mental activities to the brain. However, based on experiences from ancient times to the present, many individuals, spiritual researchers, and practitioners have acknowledged the occurrence of spirit possession, where a soul enters the body of a living person to directly communicate with the human community. Such stories are documented extensively in various texts and records around the world. There are several types of spirit possession. Reincarnation according to karmic ties. When the embryo starts forming, designated for a specific sentient being, the soul of that being enters the developing fetus according to its karmic conditions, falling into an unconscious state as the brain is not yet fully active, and waiting for a new life to begin at birth. Possession of a recently deceased body. A wandering soul may find the body of someone who has just died, with the body still warm, and take over it. The soul then impersonates the recently deceased person to experience the human life it longed for. There are many cases of elderly individuals who, after a night, suddenly become healthier with a change in personality and an insatiable appetite, which are signs of this type of possession. Possession due to karmic debt. A soul may find someone who owes it a karmic debt and possess their bodies, blending the two consciousness together, which leads to what appears as personality disorders. Sometimes the possessing soul is strong enough to completely overpower the original consciousness, leaving the person unaware of what is happening. In other cases, where the invading soul is not so strong, the original consciousness remains partially aware, leaving the person with fragmented memories after the possessing soul leaves. Possession by a deity. A deity might possess a person with whom he has a karmic connection to impart wisdom, guidance, or moral teachings directly to the human community. In Vietnamese folklore, many stories describe village guardian deities possessing individuals to communicate important messages to the villagers. This has led to the development of spiritual rituals where people seek out divine possession to receive guidance, often accompanied by music and theatrical elements. If possession occurs with malicious intent, it can be resolved by seeking the assistance of virtuous spiritual practitioners. With their spiritual power and great compassion, they can expel the spirit from the body and guide the spirit to cultivate morality, so that it may soon be reborn into a better realm and follow the righteous path.
Question 86. Did the Buddha have many excellent disciples?
In the time when the Buddha was alive, many of his monk disciples attained the highest level of enlightenment, becoming arahants. Some of these disciples were particularly outstanding in specific areas. The two foremost leaders of the Sangha were Venerable Sariputta, known for his supreme wisdom, and Venerable Maha Moggallana, renowned for his exceptional supernatural powers. Besides them, there were many other extraordinary arahant disciples. The Nikaya scriptures recorded numerous stories about these arahants of that time. For example, Venerable Ananda, who served as the Buddha's attendant, was known for his phenomenal memory. He accompanied the Buddha throughout his life, listening to the Buddha's teachings without forgetting a single word. After the Buddha's passing, Venerable Ananda played a crucial role in reciting and preserving the Buddha's teachings for future generations. Venerable Rahula discreetly employed various means to protect the Buddha's monastic community, Sangha, from the intense opposition and sabotage of non-Buddhists, a task that was far from simple. Venerable Maha Kassapa set an example of a simple and austere life. He often entered deep absorption in meditation for 7 days at a time. After the Buddha's passing, he became the spiritual leader of the Sangha. Venerable Subhuti was known for his boundless compassion, showing a deep love for all creatures, even ferocious animals. Venerable Kakana was famous for his ability to engage in discussions and lead conversations, which could convert even the most skeptical listeners to understand the true Dharma. Venerable Gavampati once halted a raging flood to protect the monks sleeping by the riverbank. Venerable Pindola Bhardwaja once flew on a stone over the city of Rajagaha, an event that was witnessed by and amazed all people in the city. At that time, with the Buddha's direct guidance, countless disciples attained enlightenment. Even many lay followers achieved various stages of sainthood, up to the stage of anagami, non-returner, the third stage.
Question 87. Why are there fewer people attaining enlightenment in later times compared to when the Buddha was alive?
Enlightenment is an exceedingly profound and lofty state, far beyond the reach of the ordinary human mind. The gap between the ordinary and the enlightened is vast. In the time of the Buddha, when someone achieved a certain spiritual result in meditation, the Buddha would confirm the exact stage of their attainment. Practitioners themselves could not accurately know the extent of their achievement because the experiences and states they encountered in meditation were entirely new and unfamiliar. With the Buddha's validation, monks were not misled and could continue their practice until they attained the highest level of sainthood. After the Buddha's passing, and as arahants became fewer, many practitioners, when reaching a certain state of mindfulness and meditation, mistakenly believed that they had attained a profound stage of enlightenment. They then declared and praised their own experiences, leading others to believe that these states were the pinnacle of spiritual achievement. This misunderstanding undervalued the enlightenment of the arahants and the Buddha, diminishing the merit of successive generations and making it more difficult for later generations to attain sainthood than in the Buddha's time. Merit, good karma, remains a critical factor in attaining sainthood. The loss of merit due to misunderstanding and arrogance has made it progressively harder for subsequent generations to achieve enlightenment.
Question 88. How did the formation of different sects within Buddhism occur? About 100 years after the Buddha's passing, Buddhism split into two main sects, the Mahasamgika and the Theravada. This division arose due to differences in the interpretation of the teachings. The Theravada tradition has been preserved and it is still practiced today in countries like Thailand, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Laos, Cambodia, and parts of Vietnam. The Mahasamgika, on the other hand, gradually became more innovative, introducing bold reforms that eventually led to the development of Mahayana Buddhism. Maha means great, Yana means vehicle. Naturally, when it identifies itself as the great vehicle, Mahayana, the other sects are labeled as the lesser vehicle, Hinayana. Today, we often refer to the Mahayana tradition as developed Buddhism and the Theravada tradition as original Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhism is predominant in countries such as China, Japan, Vietnam, Korea, Tibet, and Mongolia. It appears that Theravada Buddhism has stably maintained its traditional practices from the Buddha's time. In contrast, Mahayana Buddhism has been extremely open and innovative, creating a great Buddhist sect with many legendary spiritual elements. While Theravada Buddhism has tried to preserve its original practices, there have been some deviations over time. For example, many pagodas in Theravada countries have used a large number of talismans and mantras, which are seen as a form of derived spirituality, while awaiting spiritual achievement from true enlightenment. On the other hand, Mahayana Buddhism, with its more audacious approach, has introduced new Buddhas and different teachings, seemingly creating entirely new forms of Buddhism. However, Mahayana monks assert that these new Buddhas and teachings were also introduced by the historical Buddha Shakyamuni. Some of the notable schools within Mahayana Buddhism include Zen Buddhism focuses on using methods or techniques to trigger enlightenment, sometimes in ways that don't align with traditional scriptures. Zen has a strong, systematic lineage that has spread across many countries. Pure Land Buddhism advocates reciting the name of Amitabha Buddha to be taken to his pure land after death. Vajrayana Buddhism focuses on the use of mantras and rituals to quickly gain spiritual power. Tiantai Buddhism, founded by the Chinese master Ziyi, focuses on practicing meditation with unique techniques. There are also many other smaller schools within Buddhism that have appeared and disappeared over time. Question 89. In the Three Noble Jewels, TRIRATNA, the Sangha refers to enlightened monks and nuns. How can there be more practitioners who truly achieve enlightenment today? According to the traditional definition, the Three Noble Jewels consist of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The Buddha is the supremely enlightened master who founded the path. The Dharma is the teachings and doctrines preached by the Buddha. The Sangha refers to the community of saintly disciples who have attained enlightenment. When we take refuge in the Three Noble Jewels, we take refuge in the enlightened Sangha of all times, not just the enlightened beings of the present. However, if there are enlightened monks in our time, it greatly strengthens people's faith. Occasionally, we may hear about monks who do not fully embody the qualities expected of them. In reality, to maintain the true qualities of a monastic, the following conditions are needed: a strong and sincere initial aspiration to pursue the spiritual path, living in a disciplined environment with strict monastic rules under the guidance of a wise master, and surrounded by fellow monastics who are also dedicated to the path. Studying the teachings that align with the true Dharma of the Buddha, as wrong views can lead to the deterioration of ethical conduct. Practicing diligently with consistent efforts in both spiritual cultivation and service, allowing morality and merit, good karma, to grow gradually over time. Gradual progress in meditation, leading to deeper states of mindfulness. Development of wisdom over time. Having very strict self-control and self-regulation. If monastics can meet these conditions, people will feel confident in relying on them for guidance in their spiritual practice. Question 90. Can you elaborate on the concept of enlightenment in Buddhism? The Buddha's definition of enlightenment is very profound. Even if one can enter a deep state of meditative absorption, this is only considered a meditative achievement, but it is not regarded as true enlightenment or attaining a stage of sainthood. True enlightenment or sainthood is achieved only when one eradicates the deep-seated, invisible defilements known as kilesas, mental fetters, within the deepest layers of the mind. Kilesas are the natural instincts of sentient beings that influence all thoughts and behaviors. These include inclinations such as selfishness, arrogance, greed, anger, hatred, stubbornness, laziness, cowardice, blame-shifting, fear, and at the deepest level of mental fetters, ignorance, avidya. The Buddha identified 4 stages of enlightenment or sainthood. Sotapanna, stream enterer. At this stage, one eliminates the first 3 defilements: selfishness, stubbornness, and indecisiveness, lack of firm principles. A Sotapanna is highly ethical, reveres the Buddha absolutely, and possesses a strong sense of inner mindfulness, but has not yet achieved deep meditative absorption, samadhi, or natural powers, abhina. A Sotapanna will still be reborn multiple times to continue practicing and accumulating more merit. Sakadagami, once returner. At this stage, the defilements of greed and anger have been significantly weakened, though not entirely eradicated. The Sakadagami's morality is profound. They begin to reach deep meditative mindfulness and may even attain the first jhana, the first stage of deep meditative ecstasy. They have strong intuition and can foresee many things. A Sakadagami will return to the human realm only once more to resolve their remaining karma before ascending to higher realms and ultimately attaining nirvana. Anagami, non-returner. This stage marks the complete eradication of the core defilements of greed and hatred. However, 5 subtler defilements still remain, including attachment to the form realm, desire for rebirth in the form heavens, attachment to the formless realm, desire for rebirth in the formless heavens, complacency, contentment with their peaceful state of mind, leading to a lack of further effort, subtle pride, still seeing other beings as inferior, and ignorance, the root defilement. An anagami will no longer be reborn into the human realm unless they choose to be, but will dwell in the higher realms of the form or formless heavens, where they will attain nirvana. An anagami often possesses great supernatural powers. Arahant, fully enlightened one. At this final stage, all defilements are completely eradicated, including ignorance. An arahant attains fully the 3-fold knowledge, the 6 supernatural powers, and supreme enlightenment, transcending all realms of existence and achieving ultimate liberation. The concept of enlightenment in Buddhism is extremely profound and intricate. requiring significant spiritual practice to fully grasp its meaning.